My name is Laura Caracciolo, and this past July I spent 4 weeks volunteering with IVHQ in Naples, Italy. Naples, or Napoli, is located in southern Italy within the Campania region. The city is located in a bay surrounded by popular tourist destinations including Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii, and Capri. However, I learned through IVHQ that increasing tourism in the city of Naples has only really been around for the past 2 years. During my first week in Italy, I worked at an after-school care program with two other women from Chicago. I came across one of my biggest challenges at this time, the language barrier. Because Napoli has been fairly isolated until the past couple of years, most of the residents only speak Italian, and I knew very little of the language. I found it hard to connect with the children because I was unable to communicate with them. Along with this, we were only invited to two events in the first week: homework hours and a film festival about local cuisines in various neighborhoods in Naples. I ended up being a bit disappointed by my first week because I did not get many chances to volunteer, and I had originally wanted to work with NGOs instead of schools. So I then switched to a different program for my last 3 weeks. My new placement was at Fondazione Massimo Leone, and I really enjoyed my time there. This nonprofit organization provides housing for people trying to get out of poverty. Many of the people they work with have mental disorders. On Mondays through Thursdays, I would attend a ceramics workshop that encourages socializing. It was also difficult to communicate with others at this organization because of the language barrier. Only one other volunteer spoke English, but we used Google Translate in basic English and Italian words to try to communicate. From this volunteer experience, I learned that I must be patient with the language barrier and be open to learning, even if I couldn't become a fluent Italian speaker in a month. The small bits of Italian that I did learn in my 4 weeks actually really helped me get around and communicate more often with non-English speakers. Because I have flyer making and graphic design experience as the Vice President of Marketing for SDSU's Planned Parenthood Generation Action, Anna, my supervisor, asked me to make some flyers for the organization. I had a fun time using my creativity to make these posters and included the 4 designs I made in this presentation, which you can see now. I also got the chance to shadow a dentist at Fondazione Massimo Leone's health clinic, which was really interesting to watch. 3 patients came in throughout the morning to receive fillings. Another volunteer and I were in charge of the suction and water used for rinsing during this time. I'm not interested in pursuing a career in the medical field, but I feel passionate about the right to health care, so I was thankful for this experience. Italy's healthcare system follows the beverage model, so it is funded through higher tax payments. Unlike Americans, Italians do not have to pay for medical treatment, and undocumented immigrants have been able to receive urgent care free of charge since 1998. Because of this, there is more of a focus on action towards improving quality of medical attention in Italian culture rather than access, which is more of an American focus. According to the World Health Organization, Italy had the third highest life expectancy at birth out of all European countries in 2015, with an average of 82.7 years, only falling behind Spain at 82.8 years and Switzerland at 83.4 years. Based on these statistics, I believe that having reliable access to healthcare increases one's life expectancy. Despite Italy's excellent healthcare system, a 24-year-old asylum seeker named Ibrahim Manna died from appendicitis in Naples while I was in there in July. Many citizens and refugees were outraged by this example of health inequity, as his death could have easily been prevented through proper medical aid. Ibrahim had been resigned from a hospital earlier in the day despite his worsening condition. When he called an ambulance, it never came. By the time he got to the hospital, it was too late, and he passed away. Protests arose over this event as many asylum seekers and refugees experience acts of racism on a daily basis. For Ibrahim, it unfortunately ended his life. A couple volunteers went to the protest, but I was unable to attend because I had my volunteer hours at this time. I believe that refugees frequently experience racism in Naples because the population used to be homogeneously Italian until very recently. I believe a solution to this issue would be to integrate the refugees and asylum seekers into the Italian community. For example, the organization I worked with was a very tight-knit community, but I noticed that only Italian men attended the ceramic workshops. I believe that if foundations like Fondazione Massimo Leone advertised events to refugees and promote an inclusive environment, the refugees could become more easily integrated into Italian society. Along with racism, Naples also faces issues with the mafia. Following my first week in Napoli, the mafia had set part of Mount Vesuvius on fire. The fire got so bad that the smoke reached Napoli. Some volunteers were unable to go to their volunteer placements because the air quality was so poor. While there are not a lot of violent crimes in Italy compared to the United States, petty theft is rampant in Naples. Pickpocketing is extremely popular. During my month in Italy, one volunteer had her phone stolen out of her hands, another volunteer had her purse ripped off her, and a last volunteer had his wallet stolen out of his pocket on a crowded bus. According to Business Insider, Naples has an unemployment rate of 22.6% in 2012. I believe that increasing tourism could help Naples combat against poverty. Naples has many points of interest, including the amazing catacombs of San Gennaro. A large portion of the catacombs had just recently been excavated, and they are expecting to excavate even more of it in the coming years. Naples also has some of the best pizza in the world, and it is well known for its delicious Neapolitan pizza made with mozzarella di bufala, which is made from the milk of Italian Mediterranean buffalo. The National Archaeology Museum of Naples also houses impressive artifacts from Pompeii and Herculaneum. With €2 Thursdays and over 400,000 guests visiting per year, this museum is a must-see when visiting Naples. I believe that tourism can ultimately benefit Naples' economy. Tourism has already been increasing in the city over the past 2 years and helps provide jobs for Neapolitans. By further advertising scenic and historic sites, Naples would be able to attract visitors from both Italy and across the globe. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't gotten the chance, I hope you are able to visit the wonderful city of Naples one day.